Now it's very much my pleasure to introduce our first guest speaker, Roger Lanctot from Strategy Analytics. Roger is Director of Automotive Connected Mobility in the Global Automotive Practice at Strategy Analytics. He's the automotive analyst who I follow most closely and most regularly because, in my opinion, he's got some really good data, some really good insights into what that data means, and some provocative opinions about what's happening and why. So very happy to have Roger here. Roger, thank you very much for squeezing us into your schedule, and welcome.
And thank you for that generous introduction, Jeff, and thanks to Phil, Brian, and Elizabeth as well for getting me here. I do have to dash out of here after my presentation, but I last spoke to the Embedded Vision Alliance, I think it was about 4 or 5 years ago, so I don't know if I said something wrong or didn't deliver the goods, but I was, in the interim, my colleague Ian Riches, who is more specialized in this area, he did speak to this organization, and I guess I've been brought back from the cold. But I am focused more on the application of these technologies, as my responsibility is connected mobility, so the application of vision systems into cars to enable autonomy and these kinds of applications. So I don't mean to suggest, and neither does Jeff, I'm sure, that automotive is the most important application area. However, I would argue that it's a pretty important one, particularly for the wireless industry, because most of the new connections of devices are coming from cars today, actually. It's a massive growth market for the wireless industry. And automakers themselves are struggling with that. And bringing together the vision piece with the connection is the transformative piece that we're looking at ultimately in autonomy. So I'm going to be sharing data with you. Not every market analyst is sharing, but we have the sharing economy today, so I'm going to share with you our forecasts and insights. If you need more detail on this, feel free to reach out to me. It's very easy to find me. I've got 13,500 LinkedIn connections and 50,000 Twitter followers. I have 170,000 people following my blogs on LinkedIn, which is where Jeff is finding my provocative opinions about these technologies and how we're applying them or misapplying them. But hopefully, the ultimate objective is we're saving lives, at least in the automotive industry. So I'll talk about ADAS market outlook and overview and status, and why it's so important, or why I think it's so important, why we at Strategy Analytics think it's important, and then the autonomous vehicle market dynamics, which are critical to understand. And then some conclusions, and maybe there'll be time for Q&A. But as I said, if I am not able to answer questions today, I'm very easy to find and happy to follow up with you.